I used to ask everyone else what they thought, even when I already knew what I felt. And maybe you know that pattern too. You have a decision to make, and before you even let yourself feel your answer, you start asking, what do you think? What would you do? Does this make sense? Am I overreacting? Is this okay? Do you think I should? And sometimes it looks like being thoughtful, but underneath, it's not always thoughtfulness, it's fear. Fear of choosing wrong, fear of disappointing someone, fear of being judged, fear of trusting yourself, and then having to stand behind your own truth. So today I'm talking about self trust, not as a vibe, not as a quote, not as something you suddenly wake up with one morning, but as a practice. A very quiet, a very real practice of noticing the moment you are about to abandon your own truth and choosing to stay. Type live in the comments if you're watching this live and type replay if you're watching this replay and put yes if you have ever asked five other people what they thought when deep down you already knew what was true for you. I think we often talk about self trust as if it is this big, confident feeling. Like one day you feel completely certain, no doubt, no fear, no hesitation, no discomfort. And then you finally trust yourself. But I do not think that is how this it works. Self trust is not always being certain. Self trust is much quieter than that. Sometimes it's a pause, sometimes it is one breath before you say yes too quickly. Sometimes it's noticing that your body is tightening around something. And sometimes it's just admitting, I do not actually want this. Sometimes it's saying, I need a moment to think about it instead of giving an answer because someone is waiting. Sometimes it's hearing the old thought that says you're selfish and not immediately obeying it. And that is where self trust begins, not in big dramatic life decisions only, but in the small moments where you stop living yourself. And if you feel like you do not know what you want anymore, it does not mean that you're lost. It means you or your own voice has been buried under years of filtering through what other people need, filtering what they expected, what they will think, what will keep the peace, what will make you look good, what will avoid conflict, and what will make you seem kind, capable, easy, responsible, or strong. And after years of doing that, of course, it becomes harder to hear yourself because you have been asking, what do they need before you asked, what is true for me? You have been asking, how will this affect them before you asked, what do I actually feel? You have been asking, what is the right thing to do before you asked, what is the honest thing here? And I want to be very clear here. This is not about becoming selfish. This is not about ignoring other people. This is not about making every decision only around yourself. It's about including yourself in your own life. Because many high achieving women are very good at considering everyone else, but they forget that their own truth also belongs in the room. Please write filter in the comments if you recognize this and if you often filter your decisions through everyone else before you listen to yourself. You see, self trust is not usually destroyed in one big moment. It's weakened slowly. Every time you know you need to rest, but you say yes again. Every time you know something does not feel right, but explain it and you explain it away. Every time your body says no, but your mouth says yes, sure, no problem. Every time you feel the quiet yes, but talk yourself out of it because someone else may not understand. Every time you ask 10 people for clarity because you do not want to be responsible for your own answer. And it's not because you're incapable or that you have no wisdom, not at all. But it's because trusting yourself feels risky. And questions that are running in your mind are something like, if I listen to myself, what if I'm wrong? If I choose what's true for me, what if someone is disappointed? If I say no, what if they think I'm cold? If I say yes, what if I regret it? If I stop explaining, what if they misunderstood me? So instead of listening to your own quiet knowing, you try to collect certainty from the outside. But here's the problem: the outside can give you opinions, but it cannot give you self trust. It can give you advice, but it cannot give you inner yes. It can give you perspective, but it cannot live your life from inside your body. And that is where the practice begins. You stop asking the outside to give you a certainty that cannot be grown through staying with yourself. And I want to bring a simple image here. Imagine a bubble machine, the kind children love. You turn it on, and suddenly there are bubbles everywhere. Some are tiny, some are big. Some flow, some flow gently, and some burst immediately. Some catch the light and look important for a second. And that is what mind does. It produces thoughts all day, every day. And thoughts are like, you should do this. You should not say that. What if they leave? What if you fail? You are not ready. You do not know enough. Who do you think you are? Better ask someone else first. And because of some of those thoughts feel so wrong, we start believing they must be true. But a thought is not a command. A thought is not always wisdom. A thought is not always your intuition. Sometimes it's fear, and it's wearing a very convincing voice. Sometimes it's an old survivor pattern, again, very convincing. And sometimes it's just noise from a tired mind. And about it's not about, decorating your whole life with them. It's about seeing through that thought, seeing the thought float by and asking, is this wisdom or is this fear? Is this clarity or is this an old pattern trying to keep me safe? And you do not need to fight the thought. You do not need to fix every thought. And you do not need to wrestle it for the next 3 hours. You can just notice it, let it be there, and then listen for something quieter underneath. because your inner wisdom is rarely the loudest voice. It's not panic. It's not rush. It does not pressure. It does not need to explain itself in 10 paragraphs. It's often very simple, quiet, clear. A clear yes, a clear no, a wait, a not yet, a this is not mine, or I'll take the next step. And come to wisdom if you're ready to stop treating every fearful thought like truth. And I just want to give you a small practice today, not some big exercise, and not the whole framework. Just one thing you can use the next time you're about to outsource your clarity. Before you ask someone else what they think, pause and ask yourself three questions. First one, what do I already know? Not what I'm 100% certain of, not what I can prove, just what do I already know? Maybe you know you're tired. Maybe you know you need more time. Maybe you know the answer is no. Maybe you know you're not ready. Maybe you know you want to try. Maybe you know something feels off. Maybe you know you are asking because you want permission. And then the second question is, am I asking for wisdom or am I asking someone to rescue me from the discomfort of choosing? And this one is truthful because sometimes asking for support is healthy, but sometimes we're not actually asking for support. We are asking someone else to hold the responsibility of our decision. And there is a big difference. And third question is, what is one small choice I can make that does not abandon me? Not the perfect choice, not the choice everyone understands, not the choice that guarantees no one will be disappointed. Just one small choice that does not abandon you. And maybe the choice is, I need to sleep on this. I'm not available for that. I want to try. I do not want to explain this right now. I need more information. I know this looks good, but it does not feel right. I hear your opinion and I still need to listen to myself. And that is the practice. Before you outsource your clarity, pause and ask, what do I already know? Am I looking for wisdom or rescue? And what choice would not abandon me? And that is how self trust rebuilds. Not in theory, but in moments. And I also want to add something important here. Self trust does not mean you never ask someone for support. It does not mean you isolate yourself. It does not mean you become rigid. It does not mean you stop listening to people who love you. You know, sometimes another person can help you see something. Sometimes a coach, a friend, a therapist, mentor, partner, or someone safe can help you hear yourself more clearly. But there's a difference between seeking support and outsourcing your truth. Support brings you closer to yourself, and outsourcing takes you further away. And support sounds like you can help me reflect on what I'm feeling. And outsourcing sounds like tell me what to do so I do not have to feel the risk of choosing. Support respects your inner knowing. Outsourcing replaces it. And the more you practice self trust, the easier it becomes to know the difference because your body starts to recognize it. You can feel when you are looking for grounded support, and you can feel when you are trying to escape the discomfort of your own clarity. And this is why self trust is not a vibe, it's a practice. A practice of returning again and again and again. And before I close, I want to leave you with this. You're not lost because you do not know what you want right now. You just need to stop asking fear first. You need to stop asking everyone else before you ask yourself. You need to remember that your own voice is still there, quieter than the fear, quieter than the expectation, quieter than the old pattern, but still here. And every time you pause before abandoning yourself, you strengthen that voice. Every time you say, let me check in with myself first, you rebuild trust. Every time you choose one small honest thing, you teach your system, I'm someone I can come back to. And if you're tired of proving, pleasing, overthinking, asking everyone else, and still feeling like somehow you're not enough, I have a free resource link below that can help you start seeing the deeper patterns behind that feeling. And if fear of judgment is part of why you keep outsourcing your clarity, if you are afraid people will think you are selfish, too much, difficult, or not enough, there is also a gentle $7 course below that can help you begin releasing the fear of judgment and shame. Both links are in the comments below. And if this life helped you hear yourself a little more clearly today, subscribe because I'm going live for 30 days. For today, I want to remember especially this. Self-trust does not begin when you feel certain. It begins when you stop abandoning yourself in the middle of uncertainty. Thank you for being here today.